What's cooking, everybody? It's Door, and this video is a full walkthrough of the 4th expedition in No Man's Sky, Emergence. I will of course be going over all the steps you'll need to complete this expedition, the rewards you'll unlock for each step, and of course give you some tips and tricks on how to do this best. I myself have just completed the expedition in under 6 hours, and you still have a few more weeks to go before it's finished. And so without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So the very first thing I would recommend doing when starting the expedition is to go into your network settings and make sure that at least PvP is disabled. Of course there are some other settings you might want to adjust as well, but that's all depending on you. Just make sure that PvP is off, as there will be people who will grief you by killing you. The second thing I would immediately do is to install a terrain manipulator onto your multi-tool. The planet you spawn on is quite stormy, so it's always handy to be able to dig a hole to seek some shelter for storms. Next you want to make sure that the Beast Awakens is highlighted, and then you can use your analysis visor to locate a Titan worm burrow. If you found one close by, highlight it and go there. Once you're there, you'll notice that these giant worms will spawn out of the ground. Make sure to kill them all, but do so from a safe distance, as they will damage you if you get too close. You'll notice that once they are defeated, they will drop these file spawn. These can be collected once you have the visceral synthesizer. We will get to that later in the video. Once you have destroyed all worms, you will unlock the Beast Awakens Milestone, and this will reward you with the first worm skin folio, a significant life support upgrade, and 5 iron batteries. Of course, make sure to always install all upgrades you'll receive during the expedition, as these will greatly increase your chance of surviving. So once you have, make sure to locate your ship using your analysis visor and go there. Reaching it will unlock the milestone, your only sanctuary, and this will reward you with the advanced mining laser plants, a suspicious weapon that's an upgrade for your weaponry, a band mining beam upgrade, and a band movement system upgrade. I would now advise to immediately start repairing your ship, so make sure you gather enough dihydrogen to make the hydrogen jelly, to create an hermetic seal and a metal plating. Install these onto the broken parts onto your starship. And lastly, you'll need some pure ferrite. You can place down the portable refiner, which you have been given since the start. Fill up the fuel inverter with some carbon and put some ferrite dust into the input. So once you have the 50 pure ferrite, of course make sure to pick up the portable refiner and fix the last part on your starship. So now you're ready to take off. Get into your starship and do so. Fly up into space to unlock the From Barren Shores milestone. Next I would immediately fly towards the space station. So once you arrive at the space station, make sure to get out of your starship to create an autosave, but also to be able to use a teleporter to reach the space station, should you want to get back here at any point. Of course, don't forget to claim the From Barren Shores milestone to be rewarded with the efficient thruster plans, a band pulse engine upgrade, and a band launch thruster upgrade. While you're at the space station, head up to the Galactic Trade Terminal to make some quick cash. The worms you had just defeated drop flashy rope, and this is worth quite a bunch. As you can see, I have 4 of them and I can almost sell it for 900,000 units. Also, make sure to buy some microprocessors, as you will need these to repair your hyperdrive. Next to this, you will need some chromatic metal. For this, head to a planet that has copper, find a copper deposit and mine it using your terrain manipulator. Once you have some, place down the portable refiner and fill it up with carbon and of course the copper to create some chromatic metal. So once you have 125 chromatic metal, you can repair the hyperdrive on your starship. Next you'll want to create some antimatter and an antimatter housing in order to be able to craft a warp fuel cell. Use this to charge your hyperdrive. Get into space and make sure you have the Rendezvous 1 milestone selected. Open up the galaxy map and it will show you the route towards it. You will need to make 4 warps in total. I would recommend after making every warp to visit the space station. So when you warp into the new system, you will unlock the Into the Black milestone. This will reward you with the base computer plans, 20 salvage data and the personal refiner plans. So once you've collected these, of course make sure to stop by the space station. Again, just to make sure that you can always revisit this station through a teleporter. but also because you can get a storage upgrade for your access suit at every space station, which I totally forgot to do at the first. On your second warp there should be a freighter battle happening. You can rescue the freighter and claim it if you want. It is what I did because I wanted to have some extra storage, and it didn't really bother me which class it was. Of course, when you do want to continue using the save when it converts to a normal save, you might want to reload until you have an S-class freighter. But like I said, for me it didn't really matter because I just wanted it to have some more storage available. Of course, also visit this space station for the reasons mentioned earlier. Of course, once again, open up your galaxy map and make the last jump into the system which has the rendezvous point in it. It's called Footing Our System and you should see the Rendezvous 1 icon on your HUD. You just want to fly there and make sure to land your starship in an approximate location. Exit your starship and open up your target sweep. Look around you and start heading that way. Once you're close by enough, the target sweep will home in on the exact location. It's an abandoned building, and once you get near it, you will also unlock the Rendezvous 1 milestone, which will reward you with 500 nanites, 3 inventory slots and a Supreme Hyperdrive upgrade. Now I would recommend to use the inventory slots on your cargo slots, as these are most expensive to unlock. So once you've done so, you can also collect the reward for completing phase 1, Hunt 1. This will reward you with the Flash Launcher Pack, basically fireworks which will launch worm-themed fireworks into the air. So since you are at an abandoned building, you also want to take a look at the Their Scent Remains milestone. This will require you to steal 16 Whispering Eggs. Whispering Eggs can be found scattered around these abandoned buildings. If you shoot them, biological horrors will appear and they will attack you. If you want to collect these safely, you want to create a funnel underneath them using your terrain manipulator. Finish it off with a tunnel that goes straight down. Before entering, I would recommend to switch over to first person view and make sure that you can see all the Whispering Eggs from underneath. If not, just switch back to your terrain manipulator and make the funnel a little bit bigger. So once you can see all the eggs, make sure to switch towards your mining beam and start shooting them. The eggs will roll into the funnel, make sure to pick them up as quickly as possible. As you'll notice that the biological horrors cannot appear you while under the ground. Once you have collected all Whispering Eggs, just stay underneath until the message will appear that the swarm is subsiding. In some cases this doesn't happen, it's a bug of some sorts. If it does, just wait a few minutes before going out of the tunnel. If you'll see that the biological horrors will dig into the ground, you're safe and they will all disappear. If not, just go back into the tunnel real quick and wait a few minutes more. So rinse and repeat this until you have collected all 16 Whispering Eggs. Once you have, the Their Scent Remains milestone will unlock, and this will reward you with the Shell Greaser plans, an emergency broadcast receiver, projectile ammunition, and 3 Band Scatter Blaster upgrades. So once you're done, make sure to head into space again and select the Rendezvous 2 milestone. This will of course again plot a route on the galaxy map. Make sure to make all warps and visit the space stations in every system. Once you've made the final warp, you should arrive in the Lushang 14 system. The rendezvous point will of course again be marked on your HUD. Fly there, get out and use your target sweep to home in on the exact location. While walking to the second rendezvous, you'll notice that this planet has very frequent extreme firestorms. You'll see in the second phase that there's also the Resist the Flames milestone, which requires you to walk for 3000 units during these storms. You'll also see the Embrace the Flames milestone, which will require you to take damage from extreme heat as well. You can do these both on this planet. Just make sure when the extreme storm hits to just walk constantly on the floor. If you jump or jetpack, it won't count towards the units of these milestones. Also make sure to not charge your shields, as you will require of course to take damage from the heat. You'll have to make sure that it will damage your entire shield and then once more so that you'll also have damage toward your life. Once that's the case, the Embrace the Flames milestone will be completed. Of course make sure to recharge your shields right away, as it will be a shame to die here. You can claim the Embrace the Flames milestone to receive a Supreme Hazard Protection upgrade, a Band Hazard Protection upgrade and a Supreme Movement System upgrade. I would of course advise to install these right away. Then it's back to reaching the second rendezvous point. This is yet another abandoned building. If you come close to it, of course the Rendezvous 2 milestone will be completed and you will be rewarded with 600 nanites, a terrifying sample, 3 inventory slots and a band movement system upgrade. Of course, if you don't have the Whispering Axe already, this is yet another opportunity to harvest some. So now make sure to select the Fleshy Core milestone. This will require you to find yet another Titan burrow. Use the target sweep on your analysis visor to locate one. Make sure to highlight it and go there. When you're there, of course, the worms will once again get out of the ground. Make sure to destroy them all. So once you've destroyed the last of the worms, you will receive the Fleshy Core milestone. This will reward you with all the glyphs and the worm skin folio too. Open up the menu and select an indelible stain milestone. This will require you to harvest 512 coarse dust. Use your analysis visor to locate one of these cursed dust deposits and go there. When it is storming, of course make sure to keep walking. I myself started walking circles around the deposit while gathering it to make sure I also got the units walked through a storm in. Unfortunately, this wasn't possible for the last piece of this deposit, so I had to go underground to collect it. So once you do so, the indelible stain milestone will unlock and will reward you with the optical drill plans, 512 liquid sun and a band life support upgrade. So now you're pretty much done here. You'll only need to walk the units through the storm, so make sure to locate your starship and walk there. You can track the Resist the Flames milestone to see in the bottom right corner how many units you'll still need to walk. As I already reached my starship but did not walk 3000 units yet, I decided to walk in circles around my starship just to get it over with. Of course, with my luck, the storm went away and it left me with a little bit under 300 units left for me to walk through a storm. So I decided to wait for the next storm to get it over with. I filled up my time gathering resources required to craft some more warp fuel cells. Once the storm hit again, I went back to my ship and after a few more circles, I got the Resist the Flames milestone, which rewards you with 3 hypnotic eyes, a terrifying sample and an ever-boiling cake. Of course, this also completed the second phase of the expedition for me, and collecting the Hunt 2 milestone will unlock the Ghastly Trail customization for your jetpack. So now you want to select the Rendezvous 3 milestone and warp until you reach the Yachim Remen 11 system. Once there, of course, the rendezvous is yet again marked on your HUD. Get out of your ship, use the target sweep and head to the rendezvous. It's once again an abandoned building, and reaching it will unlock the Rendezvous 3 milestone, which again will reward you with 650 nanites, a biological sample and 3 inventory slots. You'll find that phase 3 has a milestone for earning 4000 nanites. If you want, you could use some of the Whispering Eggs to refine them into nanites to get this earlier. But I personally wouldn't bother too much because there are multiple milestones which will reward you with enough nanites to receive this milestone as well. If you will be using your Whispering Eggs, however, make sure to keep 4 of them as you will need these at a later stage. Select the It Towers Above Us milestone to find yet another worm burrow. Go there and of course destroy the worms. While I'm doing so, I want to ask you to please leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, let me know in the comments down below what you did most, and please subscribe to see more No Man's Sky content in the future. The It Towers Above Us milestone will unlock and it will reward you with the 3rd Wormskin folio, the Nautical Chamber plans and the Efficient Water Jets plans. In preparation for the derelict freighter we'll need to visit, I recommend to summon the anomaly. Visit Iteration EOS and unlock the Scatter Blaster for your multi-tool for 250 nanites. Install the Scatter Blaster onto your multi-tool as well as the Shell Greaser upgrade. You have received 3 upgrade modules earlier for your Scatter Blaster. Install these onto your multi-tool as well. To be able to install the Shell Greaser, you'll need the Magnetic Resonator recipe. You can easily get this at the Synthesis Laboratory next to Iteration EOS. This will also cost you 250 nanites. Now it is worth noting that spending nanites will not affect the Dead Creeping Foam milestone, so you can easily spend all the nanites you'll earn. While you're at the anomaly, also make sure to stop by the Exosuit Upgrader, as you can also unlock 1 slot for your Exosuit in every system you visit and summon the anomaly in. Head to a space station and buy some wiring loom. It's also worth noting that the space station within this target system will also carry S-Class upgrades for your shields. If you buy one and want some more, just make sure to enter and exit your starship to create an autosave and reload it. You'll find that the technology merchant is restocked when you've reloaded the game. Rinse and repeat this until you have the amount of shield modules you'll like and install them. Next up, head to a planet which states that it has a lot of sentinels and kill some sentinels for their dear beloved Pugnium. So once you have the Pugnium and the wiring loom, it's time to install the scatter blaster. And install the shell greaser using some more wiring loom and a magnetic resonator. Also make sure that you have plenty of sodium and oxygen or life support gel and ion batteries, and of course an empty inventory. Head into space and tune the emergency broadcast receiver. It will require you to start pulsing until you get the message that an emergency broadcast is detected. Exit the pulse and a derelict freighter will spawn. Land on it and walk up to the front door. Make sure to collect these glowy things that float around, as these will contain more oxygen and sodium. When you're at the front door, choose to unlock the door and head into the freighter. The freighter in this system is a fairly easy one. It will have some of these defense turrets in the beginning. You will come across quite a few of these horrific nests throughout the freighter, which aren't too hard to defeat as well. And totally at the end, you'll have some of these glowing squids. Make sure to interact with everything, as you'll need to interact with the secure mainframe. You'll have to put in the captain's fates and you will need the security credentials in order to continue. Once you enter the security credentials, you will be able to extract the archive override implant plans. This will unlock the day push to farm milestone, and this will reward you with the archive override implant plans, 4 anomaly detectors and 399 fragmented qualia. Of course, finish the direct freighter. At the end you'll have the option to fabricate a technology upgrade, to fabricate freighter bulkhead, or to extract nanites. As I said, nanites won't really be necessary, as you will receive enough nanites through the other milestones. I would personally go for the fabricate freighter bulkhead, which gives you more room for your freighter, but as I was curious for you for this video to see what kind of upgrade this system will give you, I chose that. And unfortunately it's a C-class, so don't pick the C-class upgrade, just don't. And of course, make sure to visit the scrap dealer to sell off the crew manifest and the captain's log for some extra tainted metal, which can be refined to nanites at a 2:1 ratio. Next up, select the Rendezvous 4 milestone and start warping until you reach the Zunaka system. Of course, once again, look for the item on your HUD indicating where the rendezvous is. Use your target sweep to narrow down the location, and once you're there you will unlock the Rendezvous 4 milestone, and this will reward you with 999 nanites, 3 storage augmentations, 3 inventory slots, and a terrifying sample. Once again, look around for a Titan burrow and defeat all the worms. Once you've done so, the Lungs of the Sand milestone will be completed, and this will reward you with the 4th Wormskin folio and a Divergence cube. Next up, you want to install the Archive Override implant onto your exosuit. For this you'll need 2 wiring loom, 90 cytophosphate and 3 hadal cores. You can of course buy the wiring loom aboard the space station. You should have 2 hadal cores from the derelict freighter you've completed, but the remainder will be found underwater. Same goes for the cytophosphate. If you exit the space station, you'll see this planet right away. It's called CookingDoorGaming and it has a lot of water. Land on it and make sure to dive into the water. Cytophosphate can be found in a lot of resources underwater. Just mine it and make sure you have 90 of it. Once you have, you can use your target sweep to find the submerged relic and you can retrieve a hadal core from this. So once you have 90 cytophosphate and the 3 hadal cores, make sure to use these to install the override archive implant into your suit. So once you're done, head back to the space station and walk up to the cartographer. Choose to exchange specific charge and buy a commercial cartographic data. Go back to your starship and get in and out of it to create an autosave. Open up your inventory and select plotter routes at the commercial cartographic data chart. A planetary archive should be marked on your HUD. If this isn't the case, just reload the autosave which you just created and try again until it does. Once you read the archive, land on it and get out of your starship. Should you not be so lucky with the commercial cartographic data, I will show where I found this one. It's on the planet Vetombu Tau, and the coordinates are latitude plus 70.95 and longitude plus 174.28. So once you're there, walk up into the planetary archive. Interact with this terminal right here. As you have the archive override implant installed, you will have the option to access the bound archive. If you choose to do so, you will unlock the Forbidden Words milestone, and this will reward you with the Breathing Manuscript and 401 Tainted Metal. At this moment I choose to select the Their Lost Children milestone. Go to your Discoveries tab and go through the systems you visited to find a planet that has ancient bones. Go there and use your target sweep to locate some. Make sure to mark them, walk there and excavate the ground until you can collect them. If you're lucky, you might find several on one spot. Just rinse and repeat this until you found 16 of these ancient bones. At the final site, collect the ancient bone and the Their Lost Children milestone will be completed. Head up to the space station and sell all the bones you've collected, as these will turn you quite a profit. Don't forget to collect the reward for the Their Lost Children milestone, which is 128 salt, a historical document, and 3 multi-tool expansion slots. Now the only milestone you will still need to fully complete the 4th phase in this expedition is the Bad Vibrations milestone. To complete this you will need to defeat 36 hungering tendrils, which basically are the giant worms you find at the worm burrows. As you will need to defeat such a burrow on every rendezvous, I would suggest just trek on to Rendezvous 5 and warp there. So once you are in the Ojima 8 system, once again fly towards the mark on your HUD for the 5th rendezvous point. Use your target sweep and close in on the location. You will unlock the milestone for reaching this final rendezvous, and this will reward you with 999 nanites, 3 storage augmentations, 2 powerful underwater oxygen upgrades and a terrifying sample. Collecting this milestone will also most definitely give you the Dead Creeping Foam milestone for earning 4000 nanites. Collecting this milestone will reward you with the Nautilus Advanced Equipment Blueprints, 2 Supreme Submarine Drive upgrades and 128 Runaway Mold. And of course this was the last milestone you needed to fully complete phase 3 of this expedition, and collecting Hunt 3 will reward you with the Titanic Trophy plans. Reselect phase 5 of the expedition and select the Fermiach milestone to track it. Once again use your target sweep to find a worm burrow, highlight it and go there. Defeat all the worms there, and doing so will reward you with the 5th and last Wormskin folio, a Supreme Pulse Engine upgrade and 5 inventory slots for your exosuit. To complete the Into the Red milestone you will need to summon the anomaly. Enter it and walk up to Polo. Here you can ask for some Atlas station coordinates. In space, open up your galaxy map and you'll receive the coordinates. Luckily, there's an Atlas station just 1 warp away from you. Once you warp into the system, you'll see the Atlas interface hovering in space. Enter it and walk up to the Atlas. Once you interact with the Atlas, you will have the option to present 16 cursed dust to him. After doing so, you will receive the Visceral Synthesizer blueprints and of course the Into the Red milestone, which will reward you with also a companion egg. Install the Visceral Synthesizer into your exosuit for 3 microprocessors, 120 cursed dust and 4 larval cores. Doing so will unlock the Titan Will Submit milestone and will reward you with 1616 hexite, 3 kelp sacks and 5 larval cores. To conclude the 5th phase you will need to collect 3 foul spawns from worm burrows. Strangely enough, if you track this milestone, the target sweep will say that there's a target located nearby, but that the signal is too weak. This seems to be a bug, and I wasn't able to home in on the signal no matter how much distance I traveled towards the point that the target sweep said that the signal was coming from. So it's better to select the Bad Vibrations milestone in phase 4. Use your target sweep and surely enough you will find a worm burrow nearby. Head there and shoot the worms. Now you will be able to collect the foul spawns that they'll drop. Do so until you've collected 3 of them. For me, killing the last worm also unlocked the Bad Vibrations milestone. Should this not be the case for you, of course go ahead and find another worm burrow until you do unlock the milestone. It will reward you with the Unbound Monstrosity, 5 synthetic worms and 777 nanites. Unlocking the Bad Vibrations milestone also completed phase 4, and this rewarded me with the Feasting Cask customization, which is a worm head for your interloper. For collecting the foul spawns, you will receive the historical document and the cryogenic chamber. And for completing the 5th phase in this expedition, the title Wormlord, the Emergence Expedition decal plans and the Emergence Expedition banner. Of course, don't forget to go into the final phase tab and click the Expedition 4 Emergence to collect the Hungering Worm companion egg. And of course, by doing so, you have completed the entire expedition for Emergence. If you want, you can hatch your egg to find that you have a giant worm which you can ride and fly around on, which is pretty awesome, and you can of course collect this across all your saves. So that was all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will certainly hope you will enjoy the 4th expedition in No Man's Sky, Emergence. Make sure and let me know in the comments down below which part of this expedition you liked most, and I hope to see you in the next video.